I just think about the sort of branding problem that DEI and DEIB, have more generally. And I know we're going to talk about this report that you've got coming out, which I'm excited to get to see people's reactions to. But just before we get into the report about reducing bias through AI, I just wanted to take a step back more broadly and think about framing it in the context of everything that's going on with AI. And I know we'll talk about responsible AI and what that means, but just like perspectives of DEI and bias more broadly in the talent and HR space where we see a lot of AI adoption, and they may be adopting it because they think it's the right thing to do, or it's the timely thing to do, or it's going to take work off their plate or whatever. But as you think about um, DEI and bias mitigation and fairness and things like that in the age of AI, are we moving in the right direction? Did we move the needle at all with what you've seen?
So let me just, I want to hit this with a bit of optimism. The very same tenor in which we approached the report, we wanted to do it in a positive slant. And we did that intentionally because we know that there are many reservations around the use of AI, the lack of representation, bias being built into the systems, so on and so forth. And so it was very intentional that we took a positive approach to the drafting of the report. To your question, do I feel like progress has been made? Absolutely. Listen, I would like for the ball to be further down the field. I would like for the race to be moving at a quicker pace, if you will. But I'm happy that the ball is moving. I'm happy that the runners are in the race and that the baton is moving from one person to another, so to speak. And so I do believe that we are making progress. I believe that organizations are becoming a bit more aware of not just the fact that the technology exists, but how can we implement and deploy the technology in our organization in a way that is good for our culture, good for engagement, good for productivity, good for retention, and all of the other things that really build a phenomenal organization. So my response to you is yes, but I really believe that the progress that we are making is because we are beating the drum. We're not just allowing the founders and the developers and the people that are crafting these solutions to have a say. I think the marketplace is also speaking up and influencing the direction that some of these solutions go. And so, yes, I believe we are making progress.
Excellent. So I agree. I see progress being made as well. And some of it I think is intentional, and some of it is, I don't want to say unintentional, but some of it is sort of um, we're getting the benefits of some of what AI can provide, assuming it's, responsibly, designed and used. We're getting some of the DEI and bias mitigation benefits as a result, even if it wasn't the original intent of deploying the tools, right? Like you and I talked about this the other day. Like, you know, you may have started down the path of deploying AI because it was going to make you more efficient or make you your team more effective, and things like that. But what came along with that, even if it wasn't your original intent, is you're making fairer decisions as a result. Is that a fair statement? I mean, did you
Well,
see that?
it is a fair statement, but let's move away from AI for a moment and we'll go back to, let's just say, and I forget how they say this, but if you design for the fringes, everyone will benefit. So let's look at ramps on sidewalks. Everyone uses ramps. It's not just people in the disability community. Everyone uses the ramps. Bikers, runners, people walking with strollers, everyone uses the ramps. Remote controls were designed for a particular audience community. Everyone uses the remote control to control their TV. So when I think about the indirect implications of AI having some impact on bias or impacting the D&I effort or impacting the inclusion, the belonging, the equity, equality efforts inside of organizations, outside of organizations. I think that that's a natural evolution of our designing, because I believe that sometimes when we start with a use case, we start to understand, wait a minute, there are really some other folks that can benefit, or there's some other ways for us to do this. So I do believe that the indirect application and presence of AI in spaces like bias and others, I think that that's a good thing. And again, that contributes to the progress that I feel like we are making.